So, how have you been?
Good, really. So yeah, amazing, really. It's been since we've been in this house. So I always
Yeah,
remember when
you
I
we we
we
we
bought the
did
house
your
and
house. Yeah.
and kind of almost did everything and I think what always stems out to me the most is when we bought this house. This was our dream house. So we thought had overstretched our budget
Mhm.
to a dream home that's like an acre of a land and five big bedrooms and I remember me and my husband saying, you know what, if it means that we never go on holiday again just because we're living in our dream house, that's fine. And the most amazing thing is like we've probably had more money in this house than we ever have, working with our home and working with the Feng Shui remedies that has just allowed us to manifest them. So we've actually living a better life than what we were. And I came into it feeling scared and things. So we've managed to have lovely holidays in Bali, Maldives like four times, America. So yeah, about three times a year we go on holiday. And so actually, yes, and actually my husband's now as well got another business. So he's running two businesses. So our life is almost like flipped completely. Unrecognizable is the word that I'd probably say.
Hi, everybody. It's Patricia here, and I'm joined by Laura. And Laura sent me this lovely email a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, I'd love to hear again from Laura," because you sent us a gorgeous email. You've been in working with us and in our program for several years now, and at this time of the year, we change things around with our remedies and ordering our reports. And Jeanette had sent out saying, like, "Oh, give us some updates. Let us hear how it's been going on." So I would love to, yeah. And you said it's lovely email, so we're like, come and share. Give us a bit of a heads up. So, how have you been?
Good, really. So yeah, amazing, really. And I guess like when we're just catching up about kind of
Yeah,
several years. I think it's been about 7 years. It's been since we've been in this house. So I always
yeah.
remember when
You
I
we
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 bought the
did
house
your
and
house. Yeah.
and we had that first call and kind of almost did everything and I think what always stems out to me the most is when we bought this house. This was our dream house. So we thought had overstretched our budget
Mhm.
to a dream home that's like an acre of a land and five big bedrooms and I remember me and my husband saying, you know what, if it means that we never go on holiday again just because we're living in our dream house, that's fine. And the most amazing thing is like we've probably had more money in this house than we ever have. And I don't mean that from an egoistic point of view, but I do believe it's down to working with our home and working with the Feng Shui remedies that has just allowed us to manifest them. So we've actually living a better life than what we were. And I came into it feeling scared and things. So we've managed to have lovely holidays in Bali, Maldives like four times, America. So yeah, about three times a year we go on holiday, and I believe it's because what I tend to do, and kind of letting you all into my secrets now of how I do this, but I always get the report, and I always kind of I put affirmations in every room as we should. But then I kind of sit down with things and go, right, what is it that I really want? And then I sit in that particular room.
Mm.
Like obviously if it's money, then I'll sit in the
Yeah.
room that's particularly for that and just sit with it and do the meditation or sit with it. If it's something like my marriage is feeling a bit chaotic, then I'll go in like my love and marriage kind of room and give it a tidy up and just give it love really,
Yeah.
which has just allowed all of this stuff to happen, which I still sometimes when I was kind of telling you like Jeanette about it, I was like, has this really happened to me? But it has, and even to the point of time, and I'm running a business and working, like it's so successful. And I think without the Feng Shui remedies and without having it, I don't think I think I would have never have taken that leap of faith, I guess, in myself.
Yeah. Because you didn't have a business back then. Like
No.
you're originally had a job and you were working. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so actually yes, and actually my husband's now as well got another business. So he's running two businesses and buying like big wagons and stuff. And then I'm running a nice like hypnotherapy business and mindset business, as well as having a job because I like to keep in the corporate world.
Yeah.
So our life is almost like flipped completely. Unrecognizable is the word that I'd probably say. Like, and
Yeah.
if I think if even if we'd have probably had that first call all those years ago, and you would have said to me, like, yeah, thanks for waking up with some of these things, I don't think I'd have believed you. And I don't think
Hmm.
I would have known that it would have happened like this, but it has.
Yeah.
So
It's
I think for
amazing.
anybody, just kind of, I think believe you've got to have that mindset, but then also, I think for me, I'd guess my takeaway from it all is consistency. I think
Mm.
it's just putting the remedies in, letting them settle, trusting that they're there. Don't almost like ponder and keep, because we get
Yeah.
frustrated, don't we? And then we become our own blocks.
Yeah.
So what I tend to do, I kind of don't focus on them. I kind of go, right, I know they're there. I've done all the basics. I've done what I need to do. The room's cleaned, clean the energy. I kind of go in and sage a
Yeah.
lot and do the decluttering. And then the rest I say is magic. So
Yeah.
just,
It is. And I think that honestly, like in terms of, a lot of people here may not have seen your original call, like, or the call we had like maybe a couple of years ago. You're
yeah,
like, maybe you want to tell about some of these specific things that have happened. Because that's like, this is, your email, I can root it out there, but I was going through, it was like a list
yes, yeah.
of things.
Yeah, so I guess, and I was a bit like, when I was writing it, I was a little
Mm,
like, oh, it's all monetary things, and because I think that's what we measure a lot on, isn't it? Like we
mm,
can measure it, but yeah. So business successful, like that's making lots and lots of money. That, and I sit here some days and I'm like, how have I even got the time to do this? But I just do. A car and like an amazing like dream car that we've had. We've just kind of gone and got, like that was last year. Like I say, my husband has got now 6 big tarmac wagons that if we'd have sat there even 2 years ago and thought we're going to have the money to do that, we would have like thought, really? My marriage as well. I think the family thing for me is the biggest thing
mm,
that is improved. And yeah, even though we are busy, like our marriage is all right because and I feel and I felt that shift actually when one of the rooms in our I always kind of go north, south, east,
yeah,
west. The southwest
yeah,
is the our love and marriage, and we'd not decorated one of the rooms, and it was just a clutter room,
mm,
and it was really weird because my marriage went through a bit of a rocky, not rocky, but like kind of like we'd never really seen each other. And I remember sitting there like last year going, right, we just need to sort that room out. And clearly my husband just thinks like, what? Like, no, it's not the room. And I'm like, it is. We need to let's just sort the room. Let's declutter it. Let's get the energies right.
yeah,
And then it was, and it was as simple as that, really. It's
yeah.
simple. It just looks, I think it's the mind that tries to overcomplicate things.
Hmm.
Even then we've then manifested all this other stuff that we're doing. Our marriage is probably the best it's been, and we get more time together. Even though when I sit there go, but how have I got this time? Because I've got doing that and doing this and holidays and
Amazing.
things like that. So it's I wouldn't never not have the report. I think every time the email comes out, I'm like, absolutely, let it be.
That's getting the house set up. And talk and your kids, because I remember their rooms and all of
Yeah.
that. How are they getting on?
So luckily, the amazing thing about Archie's room is all for every report I've had is always needed red because he supports Nottingham Forest, which is like red. And I always remember that first call where he was like, "Yeah, you probably need to tone the red down a little bit in there." So we
Yeah.
changed his bed in, but they're even they don't get it. Like
Mm,
this year, I needed earth in my daughter's room. So I'm kind of putting all stones in and just giving
mm,
her a pot of stones and she's putting them in there and they all just do it. And
yeah.
but they're even like they're just they're happy, and that's the main thing as well. I think I always sit there and I laugh because I'm like, I'm doing this all for us, and you just potter on like not really caring, but we're doing it all. And if they ever come in, because there was, I think it was last year when our centre was like a little bit of,
Mm,
like don't like keep the energies calm, and
yeah.
I kind of warn them every new year. Like I sit down and go, right, this room is it's got to be centered. So if they came in and they was shouting, I'd be like, no, not in the house. Like, but it's really funny, Patricia, because they listen. They kind of don't
Yeah.
get it, but they go, oh, okay, and just it's almost like become a part of who we are. And they don't even bat an eyelid now when I'm kind of walking around saging all the metal, and my husband still, he's helping me even though he doesn't understand it. It's just, yeah, I think it's the trust in it, and they're just going with it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think not overthinking about it. I think when I look on the Powerhouse, some of the comments and things that people,
Yeah.
we're quite, like I said, the ego tries to creep in to
To
question it all.
create question things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I've always kind of gone with, I guess, is the guidance from you, but then also like tapping into like, do I feel this is enough for my house? Do I feel this is enough
Yeah.
for this room? Yeah, I do. Right, that's all right then. And if I do, then I'll kind of add obviously a bit
Mm.
more water or a bit whatever. But I think it's that kind of working in a partnership, isn't
But it's
it?
all energy, like it's just all energy. And the more that you connect with the house and like what's so beautiful is, and for anyone, it doesn't matter how long you've lived in your house. Laura, you particularly like came into our world when you were getting a brand new house. And this is a big thing. And like from the get-go, you were like, oh, I'm creating a positive relationship with this
Yeah,
and with this space and with this energy. And it's just reciprocated back to you. It's like, yes,
yeah,
of course, well, here you go. And it's that kind of awareness which is so important, that has really landed in you and you really are conscious of it. And that's really something this the last few years, and even with the updated portal, because I'm not sure if you've seen it, Laura, yet, but we have updated our new portal
I
and put new
started going
videos in, and
videos.
the language, like there's been a whole like refocus, because as we continue to grow, we're all learning, like myself included, with this journey. Because if you had said to me 8 years ago, I'm going to be talking to you, Laura, and we're going to be talking about all the things that have happened, I'd be like, wow,
Okay.
like I couldn't even predict. And the thing is, this is a repeating come on, and they're like, oh, and this has happened, and this has happened. And I never imagined I would be the person sitting on the couch telling you about the things or how they could have happened or the flow that's unfolded behind it. And it's just a awakening you to a power that's there, like an alchemy that's there.
100% agree. I think every single affirmation that I've wrote, because I always sit with it, and even like my spiritual like
Mm-hmm.
chins and things I've done spiritually as well. Like obviously one of the corners I wrote the
Yeah.
affirmation. It's like it's in every area of my life, Patricia. And I think one thing I always do is whenever I come down my drive, I almost like speak to the house and like I'm so grateful for it, and treat it almost like part of the being a family member.
Yeah.
And everybody who comes, actually, because I run my business from my house, it's kind of like a cabin down there, and no matter who comes, they say, doesn't it feel really nice here? So
Yeah.
whatever we're doing with these remedies and with Feng Shui, it's kind of like doing bigger than what we even think
Yeah.
of. Because people, the minute they walk onto the property, they almost feel the energy. And these are people who aren't even spiritual, aren't even into
Yeah.
anything. And I always think you can never argue with a feeling, like no
Yeah.
matter what. It's the
You
mind
can't.
that tries
Right.
to
Yeah.
run away with that.
My
So
whole body got like shivers as you said that. And I
yeah,
was like, and you're like, you can't argue with the feeling. And I'm like, exactly. You just can't. And, I just am always amazed, because it's like you have talked about like the bigger things, the holidays and the car and the great work and the jobs and the kids. But that feeling of knowing that you're in a safe home that supports you and it's safe and it's like loving, like it's just a loving environment. And that is where this is where it's really at.
yeah, yeah. And I think that's exactly how it then manifests, isn't it? Because it's all around intention as well. So I
Mm.
know when you say about putting your remedies in, and don't just chuck them down and oh that's it, this is a big hindrance. I kind of put them in with love, and almost I just imagine it all. I've got like a really vivid imagination as well, but I always like imagine it like centering and rebalancing, like a bit like a tipping table, and
Yeah.
like that. And I always upgrade the red things and have it go like treat. It's almost like I'm dressing it and treating it to a new pair of
Yeah.
shoes.
Exactly. And I suppose like the thing is also in this kind of world, this is something that was more like taken for granted. Like, it's like I think when people were originally building their houses in ancient times, they took a lot of time to like decide where they're going to put it, how they're going to build it, how it's going to be. And that's like kind of the origins of feng shui. And now it's like it's treating, I just love how you talked of it being like a family member. It is like a family member. And And when you respond, there's a response mechanism between the
Yeah.
two. And sometimes, and especially in the videos where you kind of where we're training, teaching people about learning about feng shui and really realizing there's places out of balance and there's houses that can have money locks and things bad for money. Like the real essence of all of this is exactly what you described about the balancing. Like you can balance. That's the whole idea of the practice, is that you're just bringing things into this sense of balance.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I reached out, but I guess because if I look at this is 1838 house, so it's got lots of history.
Mm,
And the last three families who lived here before, because you kind of like look at you kind of like hear
mm,
things, don't you? So it was an old farm, and the farmer had girls, so obviously he had to then sell his farming business, and that's how it then got sold. The people then who brought that, they something really terrible happened where they lost lots of money, so they split up, and that's when they sold the house. And then the family before us, they divorced and sold the house. So that's kind of when I
mm,
reached out, because I was like, okay, I'm going to be buying this really big old house that almost scared me.
mm.
How do I make sure that doesn't happen to me?
Yeah.
Like, because my house has been in every, I think this is the first year that it's not been in a people lock.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
genuinely believe because the remedies has made sure that me and my husband have been here 7 years now.
Yeah.
And you know what? Touch wood, touch the remedies. We've made it. We're making it because it's never kind of lasted that long because of the locks that have been there. So it's
Yeah.
deeper stuff that you kind of don't really realize until you sit back and you kind of look, don't you? Because you just think, oh, I'm just chucking that metal in there that day. It's like, no, it's really doing something. You've got to believe it's doing something.
Yeah. And in where this is so true, because a lot of the times like we don't actually realize like the idea of you even looking back and knowing the history of the house, because I often will drive past a restaurant and see it closed down, and then another restaurant opens, and then another one, and it closes, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could feng shui that. And we actually did this on a building because there was this amazing restaurant in the small village down the road from us, and it closed down, and then another one. So Ken and I went up, like we actually could run the numbers because we knew when it was built. So we were like literally analyzing because it's just out of curiosity. And I was like, because it was such a good restaurant. And we were like, oh no, it's bad for money. We were like, oh, like, and the thing is, it's very easy to balance. That's the other part. Like, this doesn't need to be difficult, but for all of the energy you put into like decorating your house, creating your home, like working hard, like we don't need something. We can put something in that can make sure that all of that energy you're putting in is going to be good and is going to be helpful. And I think that's one of the things, Laura, like with your business and with your husband's businesses, like it's like when you're in a solid good environment, the base of like the effort is going to like pay back
Yeah,
tenfold.
yeah. And the efforts felt minimal. Like, like
Yeah.
honestly, I think that's the bit that kind of shocked me the most. It's like it's not even felt odd. That's why when I was making the list, I was like, surely like you just get used to having to struggle for these things. It's like that we've had that and had that and had that and had that. And it's like what? Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's yeah, just trusting it, and like you said, not then getting caught up on the it's in a lot, because I think I see that a lot of that as
Yeah,
well
the
in
history, yeah, or the money, the
people
house
then
type or
start like,
whatever.
oh
Like,
my gosh, it's like just okay, put the remedy in and trust, and no, it will be sorted, and it is. It's kind of like I said, the mind then creeps in and just tries to overcomplicate it, and it really doesn't. It's simple but good, and just trusting
yeah.
it really.
And I think actually just on that, like I would love to even speak to that from your perspective, because we've got like a lot of people who've been watching us, who've been learning about feng shui now. You've been on this journey for many years with us, and I would say, like, what would you be saying to people who are kind of like a bit like cynical or worried, or like it's an investment for them? What would you be saying to those people?
So it's really, I always look at things now. I mean, I don't because I've been on this journey for a while, but when I bring things into the house, like like when you're in the shops and you kind of like lulled into oh, let's buy this nice ornament that doesn't mean anything to you, but it might look pretty on a table. I kind of think that stuff is just dead energy, and this is the basics. So almost like treat it as you're dressing your house.
Mm,
get the tipping table bits right, and you don't need to go and like fluff it up with flowers and things like that, because people don't look at it's hard to explain, isn't it? Because we're almost like hypnotized
mhm.
into go and buy those flowers and that'll make your house look pretty, or those curtains. And yes, it does. But we're missing a whole layer of foundations. And it is a little bit like building a house without the foundations. It's going to fall over, something's going to happen. And so it's actually right, like strip everything back, and the money that you save on not buying silly ornaments or diffusers or things like that, you could actually pay for this. So fortunately, I've never been in a position where I've had to make that choice. But if I was, then I'd be saying, you know what, I don't want those fancy cushions or things like that, because that's not going to bring me joy. I'd actually pay for the report and then get
Mm.
the basics in, because the remedies don't actually cost anything, really. I don't think.
No, and I think that this is the what you just shared there around this is the foundation part, and it's not about the aesthetics, it's the energetics. Because when you have
Yeah,
the energetics right, then the money is there to make the aesthetics
yeah,
even more pleasing
yeah.
if you want,
Well,
or
you don't want it. In the end, you don't
if you
want it.
want,
Yeah, because
yeah,
I look at it as energy now. I kind of sit there and I go, I don't want to clutter the room up. Like, I want a free room. I want a nice room. And like, I don't want to clutter up, because it's energy stagnant, isn't it? On
yeah.
something. But I always, one of the things, my biggest tip, I guess, not for this question, but what you said about, I always remember when we was talking about things being broken.
Mm,
So, and I used to super glue like photo frames together. So now I've got this new belief where if anything's broken, it's out, it just goes, because it's going to break one of us or make one of us feel a little bit. So I think it was had some children's pictures were in broken frames. And I'm like, what does that say about them?
mm.
So I always kind of like scatter or scan the house for anything that's broken. It's like, right, that's going with this, served its purpose in the house, it can leave.
Yeah.
So for it's kind of like, yeah, save money on buying these ornaments and things that don't mean anything, and do the get the foundations in.
Yeah, amazing. And is there anything else you'd like to share just about feng shui or this journey? Like you've been in the community and our world for a long time. So yeah, we're really blessed to be able to share this.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time. But if there's anything else you'd like to share with people who
Yeah,
are
I,
considering joining us.
yeah, I just kind of think it's not when we're always going to sit there with blocks, and if anybody's on the fence, I guess, about joining, then it's almost like ask yourself what's stopping you, because I always think sometimes it's the fear of the unknown, because and that's kind of, so that's if anyone is sitting there almost going, oh, I want to, but I'm not sure. It's like go a little bit deeper and ask yourself, like, what is it that's stopping me? And it's probably like almost like being scared of your own power, being scared of what you can manifest. And I think that's the bit, isn't it? It's almost like we're not worthy of it. So then it's the work that you do on that. Like you set up one of your goers and you work on that. Like so,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's kind of it, really.
And I absolutely love that because the thing is, it's definitely stepping into the unknown. But the other part of that is, and that kind of fear of the good things happen, and you have permission, you have permission to just to desire a more flow and ease in your life, and you have permission to just have it. Like you're allowed to have it easy, like
Yeah.
it's allowed to be more easy and joyful and flowing.
And even saving it, like being a bit, if there is frugal people out there, it's like saving £1 a day. Like you could easily, anyone could save £1 a day to then save up for the yearly report. That's
Yeah.
that's as cheap as it comes across. Do you know what I mean? If you just put £1 a day in a pot, and when it comes to the renewal
Yes.
or the signing up, it's not that much of a big investment.
True. And
It's always wait.
um and we've really shifted things this year with our plans. We want to make it as accessible for people to be able to join and be like, oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. Like that's
Yeah.
what my coffee a day or whatever. I'm not gonna
Absolutely.
coffee, I'm gonna feng shui my home.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Because that's going to actually bring in the investment, not that. And I just think I would never live without it. This is part of the house. This is part of us. It's part. And even if I moved, I'd be exactly the same. I'd take it. I
Yeah.
just think I always remember that very first call that we had to now, and I really 100%. And I'm a logical person. Would genuinely wouldn't don't think I'd be where I was without this. So
Oh, it's amazing. I so appreciate your time and
You're
your
welcome.
insights and you know, your commitment to this practice. And I think that's also what keeps spurring us on, you know, like when we get an email years, like, you know, I know we spoke a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
but an email just like, oh yeah, and things are still going great and this is getting better and this has happened
It is.
because it's a snowball.
I think that's,
That's
yeah,
what,
I'd
you
say that.
know,
Yeah.
we're in this program, you're doing this now for 8 years, and it's like a snowball for people in
Yeah.
their lives, you know,
Yeah.
it really is. And the momentum is just getting better for those. So it's fabulous. And it feels really exciting, like an exciting place for us to be. And I'm grateful for your time and your insights. Thanks, Laura. Have a great day. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next.
No,
Like
yeah, that's
how does it get
exactly.
better than this?
Yeah, I
And
know.
what else is possible?
Absolutely. Anything could be possible, couldn't it? Really could.
Oh, amazing. Thanks a million.